At the time of me releasing this video, both Blade and Kafka will be revealed this Saturday morning, and I want to give some brief expectations before that happens. Those familiar with my channel know that I've been speculating the strength of Blade for a while now, but I've been thoroughly gassing up Kafka in all of her glory. You might be thinking to yourself, it's just because she looks like Makima from Chainsaw Man, and while that is technically true, Hey, come on, man. She's hot. What do you expect? Look, all I'm saying is Blade and Kafka have some serious potential to influence and shape the meta for the foreseeable future. Go, baby. What's good, guys? Yoku here. And right now, what we understand about Blade based on the previous CB2 beta is this. Being a destruction unit, it's safe to say he will continue to follow the rules of the other destruction units. Now, obviously, the 5-star will perform stronger or better than the current destruction units in the game, or at least he should. But for the sake of speculation, I can compare him to both Clara and Arlen. One side of the coin doesn't need a ton of investment in order to get a strong or solid reward from what it is that they do. They just need a good setup to achieve that goal. This side of the coin is Clara. Her ability to explode on enemies, regardless of their weakness being physical or not, gets insane pretty quickly. There have been builds of both a fast and slow Clara, but neither of them change the fact that each option packs a bunch of destructive missiles from this tiny little girl and her robot dad. Even better is that she doesn't actually need to use her skill. It's just a giant plus to mark the enemies for even more damage. The other side of that coin is Arlen, who consumes his own HP in order to continue lowering his HP, but to be fair, it doesn't actually benefit him to consume it. Truth be told, the enemy could beat the shit out of Arlen, and Arlen would do the same amount of damage regardless of if they put him at 1 HP themselves or he did it. That doesn't mean his damage isn't insane, but that requires you to seriously invest in the character. We're talking Eidolons, max relics, near perfect substats, signature or greater light cones, and you need a way to keep him near 1 HP without dying. This is where you would put somebody like Japard on your team. On the plus side, he doesn't actually consume a skill point to use his skill, meaning it's basically a free point for someone else on the team to use. The negative is that the setup for Arlen's true potential is way greater than that of Claris, and especially Blade's. But it's worth mentioning for me to explain the theory that I have. What if you got everything that I just explained, but without the dangerous conditions of Arlen? That's where I see Blade landing. A strong character that doesn't follow the normal rules of the game, and as I always mention, any character that defies the natural mechanics of the game automatically sits in a high placement for me until proven otherwise. We've seen the concept of trading HP for power from a character named Hu Tao in Hoyo's previous game, Genshin Impact. Someone that a stupidly large amount of the community believed would be a horrible character at the time, and hours after her banner ended, all of a sudden, she was a top contender for the second strongest DPS character in the game, next to Ganyu. Blade, in theory, has the possibility to fall under the same category. A character that has a ceiling as high as the HP stat goes, on top of his own attack stat, and the ability to increase that further with crit damage ratios. Once true theory crafters get this character in their hands, I feel like the reach is limitless. If you start seeing Blades day one popping 30, 42k attacks with subpar relics, just imagine what's going to happen when people start perfecting rotations, giving him the max relics plus 15 and everything, and you have the supports to back it up. That 42k is easily going to double, possibly even triple, depending on how much HP you can give him and then convert it into damage. My jimmies have been rustled. That's Blade though. Mommy Dommy Kafka, on the other hand, there's not a doubt in my mind this woman is going to hit the ground running. Now, I keep talking about this concept for a very specific reason, but the ability to do this is basically broken. And I'm not saying Kafka herself is broken. What I'm saying is that her ability is on par with Silverwolf's for being a game-breaking mechanic. For visual representation currently in the game, I want you to do something for me. Go into the simulated universe with a couple of DOT characters if possible. Choose the nihility path and then just start stacking DOTs onto the elite boss enemies. Now, when you do this, you're gonna see an absurd amount of colorful, pretty numbers pop up on the screen that eventually it's gonna get to a point that you can't count them. The concept of DOT is the T part. damage over time. So the way DOT currently works is by the enemy taking their turn, receiving damage, and then they may or may not survive to be able to attack you again. At the moment, yes, they are going to survive. But Kafka, you know, she's a mommy Dommy. She might not let you survive. What Kafka does, at the point of me understanding her from all of the CBT and the tutorial footage, she eliminates the time. There is no DOT. It's just damage over Kafka. Kafka decides she wants to inflict damage on you. Boom, damage. Hey, it's my turn again. Boom, damage. Oh, by the way, my name's Kafka. Boom, damage. That is what Kafka does. Have you guys seen this anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Specifically part 5. You know the villain Diavolo, the guy with the pink hair? Okay, so he's not the second most busted character in that part for no reason. The dude erases time from existence, from his existence. Let me correct myself. He erases time from his existence in order to solely benefit his own agenda. Now, who else are we talking about right now? Kafka procs the effect from DOTs whenever she attacks all the time. So in theory, right, hypothetically, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh real quick. Let me do some setups. If you use turn 1 to stack a bunch of DOTs onto the enemy, then in turn 2, you spam Kafka's attack by whatever means necessary, the enemy is dead. You have just OTK'd your opponent. See, you know what's crazy, Venom? I know you're gonna say something because you're gonna watch this. I probably used the wrong term. I'm not even comparing things to Yu-Gi-Oh at this point, bro. I just want to talk about Kafka and her DOTs. Let me make it. They don't get to pass go and collect $200. But if for some reason they did, then she just naturally procs the DOT damage she would have done at the start of their turn anyway. And again, this is just based off the concept of how damage over time works and how her skill has shown me it works. The ability to do that on any single character is busted. And in order for them to make her horrendous, they would have to neg her numbers to infinity and below. Now listen to me real quick. Let me get in the mic. Hoyoverse, I know you're listening to me from the shadows. Please don't drop Kafka's numbers. I don't even know what they are, but don't drop them. You know what? In fact, buff her right now. Buff Kafka. Add another 75 to 150% on whatever she's got already and call it a day. Okay. Excuse me. I would like to apologize formally to everyone listening to this video. I might have got a little carried away there for the future mother of my children, digitally, of course. Take everything that I just explained to you with a grain of salt, but do understand that these are relatively speaking, everything that I just discussed is something that these two characters do on their own. If we add in, say, Yukong, Silverwolf, or even Bronya, guess what happens from that point forward? These two characters' viability skyrocket. If Blade or Kafka were to magically do 65k by themselves, and then Bronya or Yukong buff their damage output by, I don't know, another 50 or even 60%, that's almost a 100% damage increase just for existing. And mind you, most of the Harmony characters have buffs that last for a couple turns. You start perfecting rotations, relic influences, light cone enhancements, and all of a sudden you've got the next MTash title popping up in your recommended feed. Moral of this story, don't count your eggs before they hatch. I have a strong feeling both of these characters will hold some immense value to anyone's account that pulls them, and with the combination of the previously released support characters we have so far, it's only going to make them stronger. Whether or not you pull for Blade or Kafka, I don't expect there to be a clear winner between the two in terms of one just outright obliterating the other on the charts, but that's just a theory, a game theory. Nah, bro, for real, I gotta stop, man, because Matt Pat's gonna show up in my closet if I finish that line. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please feel free to like the video, comment, and share with anyone else you feel like is doubting Blade or Kafka. If you want to catch more dramatic content from me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. The more of you that I collect like Pokemon on this channel, the more YouTube seems to believe in me, and then it'll push me further, and then I get money. Lastly, I'll attempt to stream the 1.2 or the version 1.2 live stream for a live reaction with y'all, so turn notification bells on and follow the Twitch, because to be fair, completely honest here. I don't know where I'm gonna watch it. Maybe you can give me your opinions in the comments below. Who knows? It might be Twitch, it might be YouTube. I'm definitely not waking up at 6 a.m. to do that unless I'm just jacked up on caffeine. Regardless, I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.